Hello guys, so in this video we're gonna go through a few very quick validations. Okay, so what I did is I took the strategy, okay, and I'm actually optimizing. Excuse me. Today is 15th of June 21, okay, and I'm optimizing on this period. Okay, so basically as a very quick optimization, I'm pretty much optimizing like everything. So I put like in like all parameters, like so many combinations now probably. And I just ran a really quick optimization, a genetic one obviously, with like generation size of 25 and 5 generations only. Okay, just to give us a quick glance of what we can get. Okay, so and these are a few performances that it got to, okay? And so we're pretty much interested in one, okay, where, excuse me, so the volatility switch, okay, the filter type is either ADX, non, or volatility switch, okay? So we want to take the sum of results that were more or less decent, okay, and see what what the volatility switch and ADX impacts are. Okay, in comparison, are they better than one or the other? And maybe they're not worth it at all. Okay, so I'm going to take these performances one by one. And so this one looks not bad, I guess. Okay, it's flat for most of the time, but let's just check it out. Open in Strategy Analyzer tab. And we're just going to look at one. So it's 100 trades, so that's enough to kind of have a statistical. Right? I mean, this is not beautiful, obviously, okay, but we just want to see so what the volatility switch impact is on this. Okay, so if I actually turn this off, like how will the equity look? Okay, so we can see that the volatility switch did make a little smoothing out right here. Okay, so how about the ADX? What did the ADX bring in? Well, the ADX looks a bit worse. Okay, so how about what if we, pump up the volatility switch a little bit? Okay, so to like 0.6, and you can see it's doing a pretty cool job. So 0.8, okay, and I would prefer to be looking at not days but trades. So I don't. So this is 70 trades over a year. I mean, you can see. So if I go to non, okay, well, the amount of money made is definitely much more, okay. But if you look at the drawdowns, at the cumulative drawdowns, okay, so it looks like this. If I go ahead and put the volatility switch to back on, the drawdowns look like this. Okay, I mean, the drawdowns actually give you a better perspective. Okay, and this is the ADX. Okay, so we can actually see that the volatility switch is doing a pretty good job here. Okay, now let's see, since we're here already, let's see how the robustness of the system is. Okay, so let's go back to our equity curve. Okay, and now we're going to find out whether this system, so if we were to optimize it on the 1st of January and trade it until today, what would have been the results? And this could be even pretty, well, I mean, wouldn't make much money, okay, but we wouldn't have lost any either, okay. So, and without the volatility switch, what would it have been? Okay, and you can see that without the volatility switch, it would have been awful, okay. And how about the ADX? Okay, and with the ADX, it would have been, well, you would have ended up with a bit of loss, okay, but still, the volatility switch kind of makes it, more decent, okay. We're not talking about perfectness of this, okay. So let's have a look at a few more. I mean, this was probably not the best equity to choose. Let's have a look at a better one, maybe. So I kind of saw this one. This one looks, well, I mean, just take a note of this 1.4. This one is not too bad. And they all look quite similar. Well, let's have a look at this stepped equity one. You can see that it kind of walks in steps. Okay, well, at least it's something different. And as far as I remember, we were looking at this one, right, which was an EMA cross. So let's have a look at the Bollinger breakout, maybe. Okay, one. So this one. Let's have a look at it. So we have something to compare with. And by the way, this one has the volatility switch on. Okay, let's see what would have been the equity. And I'll be looking at the drawdowns, which looks better. So the drawdowns look like this with the volatility switch. And without the volatility switch, oof, well, they do look worse. Oh, yeah, they do look worse. How about the ADX? Okay, ADX looks like this. Okay, and well, I'm just gonna go back to volatility switch, and what I want to do is I want to pump up this a little bit, okay, and get fewer trades. Well, the drawdown looked bad. Okay, okay. So anyway, let's go back and let's just check out the robustness. Okay, so I'm going to copy. So I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to put this for today's date. Let's see how this system. Well, again, I mean, we haven't really optimized and looked around for too long. Okay, and from the get-go, I mean, you're not losing money. You're still making some. You know, with the volatility switch, by the end of today, you would have already had a few $1,000s. Okay, so how about if I had the volatility switch off during my live trading? Okay, a much bigger drawdown. And the ADX, pretty much the same. Okay, so I think this should, well, let's have a look. I mean, this one, I'm just going to have another quick optimization. Okay, and I'm going to set this time, I'm going to set the generation size to, I don't know, 35, and I'll put this up to 10, so we don't have to wait for too long. So it's only 300, I mean, obviously 350 iterations is really, I did, before this, I think it was 150, and it was already looking pretty good, okay? I think we can get better results if we optimize around 3,000, 1,500 iterations, okay? So let's have a look. And well, the profit factor is definitely pumped up quite a lot, okay, to 1.91 this time, okay. And we're just gonna select. It's quite of a scary win rate, 25%. How about this? What does this look like? Not too nice. Okay, let's try this one. And this is an EMA. You can see, okay, open gap. We haven't tried this one. Well, but the equity doesn't look nice at all. Okay, open gap entry didn't really work out. So let's try this one. So this time the optimization was a bit, and you can see, is the volatility switch on? Yeah, so you can see it keeps on having it on. So the optimization definitely likes it. Okay, so let's have a look if this was actually off. To be honest, I don't see an impact. Wait, so it was $26,000 now, and with the volatility switch on, it's less, but the picture is like the same. Okay, I'm going to try the ADX now. To be honest, for this one, not much impact. Okay, not much impact. Okay, not much impact, but let's see if the you can see it's at 0.6 now. Okay, so anyway, let's try and see the out of sample part. What with that? Okay, it's pretty similar to what we've seen already, and that's without the volatility switch. And let's put it back on. Ooh. Well, it's an ugly equity, obviously, but you can see the difference on this one quite. How about the ADX? Well, you can see the ADX does a pretty similar job. A pretty similar job based on what the equities look like. Okay, so I'm not going to spend much more time. I'm just going to run one more. If we get something interesting, we get something interesting. We don't, we don't. Okay, so I'm going to pump up the generation size to 50, and I'll put the generations to 20. Okay, and this is 1000 iterations. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video now and come back to you when it's done. To be honest, I walked out the room and I came back when it's done, so we could see that it found a profit factor of 2, but that's not enough trades in my opinion for a year of data. So I wouldn't really take that on. However, the equity does look quite nice. Okay, and well, we can see that this one is pretty decent. Okay, and they're all looking pretty. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. This looks like a pretty classical one. So strategy analyzer. I wonder if we can actually get a decent out of sample. Okay, so I'm going to look at the analysis, and now is the volatility switch on? Oh, this one has no volatility switch, so let's put the volatility switch on and see if that does any better. You can see it took out the tail. Okay, it took out the tail. How about the ADX? You can see it's doing a very, very similar job. Okay, so without it, well, okay, so let's have a look. How about the number of, but it is minute, so this is 160 trades, okay, and this thing really does take it to 111, okay, so that does bring in some interesting stuff. So let's have a robustness test, okay, so this is the auto sample now, and we're gonna have a look. Oh, finally! So this is not bad out of sample at all, I guess. Okay, so let's have it. Let's stick in the volatility switch. So, guys, I mean, here you go. 15 grand. This thing would have made you. Okay, so that aim of the course was to show you that if you look, you keep on looking, you will find. Okay, so let's end the lecture on this wonderful result. Okay, take care.